Yo, what's going on? You heard me first time. I just watched a video comparing black people to non-black people. And I'm not going to say you missed the point, but I will say that there's a dynamic that you missed, and this is why I'm so big on people actually listening. When you made the comment about white trumping black, Asian trumping black, and how other women feel like they're trumping black, that plays into what I hate. The whole idea that somehow black men feel like non-black women are better in terms of physical. And one of my goals on my channel, at least, is to move away from the whole idea of black men not finding black women to be physically attractive. I don't think it is a major issue. People bring it up because it's easy to talk about, and it's just a hot topic. There's some things that will forever be a hot topic, so people will always gravitate towards that. Even on my channel, I will talk about other issues that we have, and subtly, people will try to somehow steer it back to physical because it's easier. Now, in regards to the whole black men being conditioned to think that other women are more physically attractive, that is the case. I understand that in terms of certain men. But I think you're off when you said that some of these non-black women feel like they're trumping black women. That's not the case. That's not how can I put this? That's not how they're beating black women out, even if that's going on, right? So with the small portion of black men who are dating or marrying interracially, if you actually talk to these men, as opposed to having people come up with assumptions, you will see that these women didn't say, oh, I'm going to, I know I'm going to hook this man because I trump black women physically. That's not the case at all. Oftentimes, just from personal experience, I've talked to some of these non-black women about how sometimes they feel uncomfortable because they're not able to compete with black women. An example would be, let's say, music video, Video Phone. My little sister loves that video. And it's Lady Gaga and Beyonce. Okay, and Beyonce is clearly, you know, where your eyes are going. Apart from Lady Gaga looking crazy, your eyes are focused on Beyonce simply because, you know, she knows how to shake it and she knows how to move it. And that little example is what I'm talking about. The whole idea of some of these non-black women even feeling like, I can't compete when it comes to the physicality of black women. I can't compete with how they dance and how they move. You know, it is what it is. Not trying to be piggish or sexist, but I remember my friend had a bachelor party, and I was 19, 20 at the time. It wasn't even my friend, but it was his cousins, and I went, and that was my first bachelor party, and it was all out. And it's funny because it was brand new to me, and I noticed that there were some black strippers there, and there were some white strippers there. They're both equal, but everybody was gravitating towards the black strippers because they can move it better. They commanded their sexuality a whole lot better. And even now, you know, when a white girl or non-black girl wants to kind of have vibe and know how to dance and groove, what is she doing? She's watching music videos to see what Beyonce is doing, to see what what's this girl's name? I forgot her name. Anyways, but just to see how they're dancing, how they're moving. You know, how to catch rhythm and how to move your hips and how to gyrate. Okay? So, they're not trying to trump black women physically. What I don't think people understand is there will be women who are confident because they feel like they just flat out look good. So there are black women who will trump other black women or who will feel like they're better simply because they look better. There are white girls who will feel like they're best for white men because they look better than the rest of the other white girls. You'll have that going on. You'll have extremely confident women. Okay? So if a white girl says she knows for a fact she will trump a black girl, to be real with you, honestly, she probably feels like she can trump other white women as well. That's just cocky, arrogant women. Come on now. We have our own fair share of that in the black community, where black girls feel like they can show up and steal anybody's man. Why? Because they feel like they look better than the rest of the black chicks. It is what it is. But in regards to these women feeling like they're trumping black women physically. That's not the case. And this is a big misunderstanding. And this is what makes this whole situation helpless, and nobody can ever get to a solution. If that was the case, if these women honestly felt like they were just trumping black women physically, and, black women have somehow internalized that, it's a done deal. It's a wrap. You can never overcome that. We don't control the media. Right? It's funny because we're even talking about this conversation, right? People like me, yourself, and other people, because we're a little bit older and we can remember a time where things were relatively okay. I caught the tail end of that early 90s where at least you got some sort of black pride, and people were saying that they were proud to be black. You had shows like The Cosby Show, A Different World. Spike Lee had just did Malcolm X. And I believe he directed it. Yeah, I think he did. So you had all that. So even then, and like I said before, you can even see it in the music. So we got the tail end of that. So we know what it means to be black. We know what black love means and strong black relationships outside of a physical realm. Right? But this new generation, okay, they don't even have that. Okay? So they have nothing to hook on to. So if they constantly are, how can I put this, fed this whole idea that our problems stem from conditioning, or that black men just don't find black women attractive, they're going to feel hopeless. They're going to feel like there's nothing they can do. But in reality, that's not the case. Our problem is how we relate to each other. There's no way around it. I'm not trying to say that outside factors don't influence what's going on, but we're so quick to jump on conditioning, what we see on TV and what's going on here, and we can't even control that. And in reality, that's not the problem. We have poor issues, we have poor habits in terms of how we relate to each other. All right, and I'm not trying to attack you or what you're trying to say. Like I said before, I am more so trying to move people away from this whole idea of somehow reverting back to the physical realm. Okay, and I'm not trying to bring up non-black women to advocate interracial dating or relationships. I'm trying to highlight an example because I'm trying to tell you guys how I grew up, where I was around predominantly non-black people. It is what it is. I wasn't around, I would say a strong population of black people till I got to college. So my whole life I was spent around these women. These are the women that we went to the dances with. We went to the movies with, and all this other good stuff. And the whole idea of them feeling that they were just better than black women was not the case. A lot of them were so self-conscious. A lot of them almost felt inferior because they couldn't compete. They knew they didn't have, the quote-unquote body, or even if they did, they weren't allowed to dress a certain way. They didn't know how to dance a certain way. So a lot of them felt very, what can I do? Right? Oh my gosh, I can't compete with the physicality of black women. Yes, you have women who felt like they were better than other women. But like I said before, that translates to their own race as well. So if you're a white chick and you feel like you're just better than, a black chick, you probably feel the same way about other white women as well. That's part of every culture. Or that's just part of women. Women feel like they're better, especially if they know they're pretty and they've been pumped up. Oh, they're so pretty and they're so attractive. But for the most part, they're not trying to butt heads with black women when it comes to the whole physical nature. There's a lot of them are saying, well, I can't compete physically, right? And quite frankly, it makes me feel kind of inferior. So they compensate. They figure out, oh, okay, well, black men and women, they're physically attracted to each other, but the way they relate to each other is awkward. So let me come with something new, right? Let me be less combative. Let me be more caring. Let me be more understanding. That's how they compete. And that's how, I don't want to say a lot, but that's how certain non-black women are able to enter into positive relationships with black men. Okay, the white women who feel like, they can just get a black dude because, they feel like they're better. I'm not going to say they don't exist. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say they're not out there. But they get no play. right? They get no play. You know, I don't care about. And those women, you may see those women with some down and out brothers. Like I said, go to your local casino and you'll see down and out white women with down and out black men, and you'll just see a lot of down and out people, right? So no one's saying there's not there, but they're not getting the black men that I represent or what I'm trying to talk about. They're not getting the well-to-do, productive black men with vision. So we can just throw those women out. So the non-black women who are, you know, in relationships with productive black men did not do so because they feel like they trumped white women, or black men felt like they trumped black women. Did I say that right? Yeah, they're not getting with the productive black dudes because they feel like they trump black women, right? Or black men feel like they trump black women. It's not what's going on. I know black women feel that way because that's what's been produced, but it's definitely not what's going on. Let me stop it here. I'm about to go over 11 minutes. You guys take it easy. God bless.